You know, I've always had a dog, except from when I was like 13 to like 17, 18. I got my first dog after a while when I turned 18. But for the most part of my life, there's always been a dog there. And honestly, I'm the type of person that says, I'll do anything for my family, even if that means giving up my dogs and stuff like that. But to be honest, I don't think I could. I think, having a pet or a dog, is part of my identity. And if I feel like I don't have one, it feels like there's something missing, But for the most part in my life, I've always had a dog. I think the first dog that I can remember was a dog that we had. I think her name was Brownie, I think. Yeah, and she was like a red-nosed pit, I think, or a pit mix or something, a little brown dog. And then, we had Butter, Biggie, Cash, and Feisty. Those was the dogs we had for the longest time. And Cash and Feisty was like my dogs. This is what made it for me, you know what I'm saying? What solidified it for me. But for the most part, I've always had a dog. And honestly, sometimes I feel like, okay, I would do anything for my family. Get rid of these dogs so I can feed my family, so I'm not spending extra money on dog food and this, that, and the third. But I don't think I could do it. I ask myself these questions all the time, like, should I choose my dogs or, hey, cut it out. Or, this, that, third. Or sometimes I feel like I'm letting them suffer, or, it's just some things, I feel like I come to terms with. But I don't think I could ever let my dogs go. But, only the future knows what's held, and I'm just going to keep doing my part, especially when it comes to working with these dogs and taking care of them and feeding them and making sure they have enough exercise and space, make sure they have enough food. I'm always going to do my part when it comes to these dogs. And same with my family, because these dogs is my family. And they might seem cringy to some people, or it might seem unethical. Yeah, it might seem unethical, to keep a dog in a kennel for so long for most people. Or me personally, I think as long as you love the dog and care for the dog and, do what the dog needs, and like, you have to work. So I feel like we're in a society today where we have to work. So I don't think, leaving a dog in a kennel for a long period of time is a bad thing, as long as you give them their necessities, and as long as they're being able to stretch their legs and run and play and have social interactions. I don't think it's a bad thing. So I think I would just keep doing what I'm doing for the meantime. Making sure that they have enough time to play, enough socialization. And if I feel like breeding is something that I want to do, I won't do it until the time is right. Like, breeding is something that I want to do, but I just want to make sure their quality of life is up to par before I get into that. And right now, I feel like I took on too many dogs, but you can never have too many dogs, at least in my standpoint. Like, honestly, if it was up to me, I'd move off grid on some property. If I had the funds, I would move off grid, and me and my dogs, we just live free. Me and my dogs, my little family. Self-sustaining. But the moral of the story is, no matter what anybody says, you just keep going. And if your dogs is part of that journey, keep it going. You know what I'm saying? Don't get discouraged or scared because you think it might not work out. If you think that, it won't happen. That's facts. Universal law of attraction. Do your research on it. But what you put out comes to you. It's like a magnet. So I feel like it's gonna work, and I'm gonna make it work. You know, I'm a doer. I'm not a dreamer, because a dream, a thought, an idea without action is just a dream. But an idea without action is just a dream. And I am not a dreamer. So think about what you want to do in life. Think about where you see yourself and what it takes to get there, and just execute.